Have you ever stayed silent because you knew the truth would speak louder than anger? My daughter-in-law looked me in the eyes and called me confused. Then she placed a brochure in my hands and told me it was time for me to leave so her sister could move into the house I had worked my whole life to buy. Everyone in the room thought I would cry. They thought I would beg. Instead, I smiled. I nodded, and I let them believe they had already won. What none of them knew was that every word they spoke would soon cost them everything. 30 days later, their dream housewarming party turned into the most unforgettable lesson of their lives. Stay until the end because what happened when my lawyer opened his briefcase left every guest completely speechless. My name is Alex. I am 67 years old and I spent more than 40 years building a life brick by brick. My wife and I worked long hours to buy a beautiful home that became the center of every family holiday and celebration. When he passed away, the house became more than a building. It became a reminder of every promise we made to each other. My son Jack was always welcome there. After he married Ashley, I welcomed her as my own daughter. I never wanted her to feel like an outsider. I cooked for them every weekend. I helped them save money by allowing them to stay in the guest suite while they searched for their own home. At first, everything seemed peaceful. Ashley thanked me often and promised they would only stay for a few months. But slowly things began to change. Furniture was moved without asking. Family photos disappeared from the walls. My kitchen became her kitchen. She began introducing the house to her friends as our place. One afternoon, I overheard Ashley talking on the phone. She was telling her younger sister Emily that the house would soon belong to them. She laughed and said the old woman would not know what happened until it was too late. I stood in the hallway frozen. I wanted to confront her immediately, but instead I remained silent. Sometimes the strongest move is patience. A few days later, Ashley invited me into the living room. Jack sat quietly beside her without making eye contact. Ashley smiled and handed me a colorful brochure for a retirement community. She looked directly at me and said, "You seem confused lately. This place will be much easier for someone your age." Then she casually added that Emily needed more space and it made sense for her to move into the house. For a moment, the room was completely silent. My own son looked down at the floor. He did not defend me. He did not question her. I realized I had already lost something far more valuable than a house. I had lost the respect of the people I loved. Instead of arguing, I smiled politely. I thanked Ashley for thinking about me. She looked relieved because she believed I had accepted defeat. That smile became the biggest mistake she ever underestimated. The following morning, I contacted my attorney. I explained everything, including the ownership records and every financial document connected to the property. My lawyer smiled after reviewing the paperwork. The house was solely in my name. No one else had any legal claim. Every utility payment and tax record proved it. Over the next few weeks, Ashley became bolder. She ordered new furniture without asking. Emily began storing boxes in my garage. They even painted one bedroom for Emily before ever asking permission. Daniel remained silent through every decision. Neighbors quietly noticed everything. Some even asked if I had sold the house. I simply smiled and said the truth would come out soon. Then Ashley announced a huge housewarming party to celebrate what she called their new beginning. Invitations were sent across social media. Friends and relatives were told they had finally started the next chapter of their lives. My lawyer suggested the perfect timing. He prepared formal 30-day eviction notices according to local legal requirements. Every document was reviewed carefully. We would do everything the proper way. The evening of the party arrived. Music filled the backyard. Guests admired the decorations and congratulated Ashley. She proudly gave tour of rooms that did not belong to her. Then the front door opened. I walked inside wearing the same elegant dress I had worn to my 40th wedding anniversary. Beside me stood my attorney carrying a leather briefcase. The music slowly faded as conversation stopped. Ashley forced a smile and asked why I had brought a lawyer to a family celebration. My attorney calmly introduced himself. He opened his briefcase and handed Ashley and Jack official 30-day eviction notices. The room became completely silent. Ashley laughed nervously and claimed it was a joke. My lawyer explained that the property belonged entirely to me and that they had no ownership rights. Their permission to stay had officially ended. Emily became angry and argued that they had already spent money decorating the house. My attorney politely explained that decorating someone else's property without ownership does not transfer legal rights. Jack finally spoke. His voice shook as he apologized for remaining silent. He admitted he allowed Ashley to convince him that I would eventually give them the house. Ashley demanded another chance, but trust once broken is difficult to rebuild. Respect cannot exist where entitlement replaces gratitude. Over the next month they packed their belongings and moved into a rental apartment. I wished them well because revenge was never my goal. Accountability was. Months later Jack returned alone. He apologized sincerely and accepted responsibility for his choices. Rebuilding our relationship took time, but honesty opened a door that pride had closed. The house once again became peaceful. Family photographs returned to the walls. My wife's favorite chair remained exactly where he left it. Every morning I smiled, knowing that kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. Life has a remarkable way of reminding people that respect is earned through gratitude, not demanded through entitlement. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is simply waiting for the right moment to let the truth speak for itself. Never allow anyone to convince you that your kindness is weakness. Boundaries protect peace and respect protects families. The people who value you will never try to take what you worked your whole life to build. If this story reminded you to stand up for yourself, share it with someone who needs this message. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay with us for more unforgettable karma stories.